for you, Kings fans, wherever you may be. All the frustration and disappointment of the past is gone. The 45-year drought is over. The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League. They are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another season of live dime dropper post-game videos covering your favorite LA basketball team, whether it's the Lakers or the Clippers. And tonight we have the opening night of the 2025-26 NBA season, the first season with NBC as a national partner of the NBA since the, I believe, 02-03 season. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch all of the OKC Rockets game, but we'll talk about the end of that game after the Lakers Warriors. And remember, of course, we are live from Los Angeles as always. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Any donation is appreciated. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel, you're entitled to special perks, including being able to skip the line at interviews for those that are local fans that go to games. You'll also be entitled to watching a members only live every single Wednesday at noon Pacific that I'll be doing, talking about other teams around the league and getting to invite fans on stage. And of course, soon we'll be doing giveaways and merch. If you become a member, you'll be entitled to that. But live from Los Angeles, Lakers opening night against the Golden State Warriors. If you did not catch my season preview today, I talked about the Lakers being the 6th seed and the Warriors being the 7th seed in my prediction. But I don't know, based on LeBron being out for a little bit, I may have to swap those two. But I'm going to stick with my guns for now. I had Lakers at 6, Warriors at 7. But this opening night went about how I expected it to go. The Warriors beating the Lakers 119-109 in Staples Center. And it feels like the Lakers have lost the Warriors a bunch on opening nights in recent years. You had the 2021-22 season opening night that they lost. You had the 2022-23 ring night that they lost. And then last year, the Lakers actually won their opening game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but the year before that, they lost in Denver on ring night. So the last couple years of Lakers ring night games haven't been great. And this one was no better. But of course, LeBron James is still out with the injury to start the season. Let me just remind everybody what the injury is. Sciatica. I don't even know how to pronounce that shit, but he's out for a while. He's going to be out for about 3 to 4 weeks. And it's pretty rare that LeBron James isn't ready to start a season. I don't know if I can recall LeBron not being healthy to start a season. And so without LeBron, this Laker roster is not very deep. I did not expect him to come out here and win this game. And the funniest part was, shout out to one of my members, by the way, Shaft 9000. He says Fakers are terrible with LeBron's too. Ayton is a role-playing #1 pick. Sup fam LFG. So, by the way, for the Twitter people, that live is getting cut out at the 10-minute mark. So if you are not on YouTube, get to YouTube. We're about 15 subscribers away from 13,000. It would really make me happy if we get to 13,000 before the Clipper game on Friday. And I just released a vlog of at the Chargers game. I released a vlog of the Dodger game. 27,000 views already. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest. Dodgers are in the World Series, by the way. We'll be definitely making more content on that. But let's talk about this game, right? So OKC and Houston went into double overtime. And because there wasn't a local broadcast, I wasn't able to watch the first quarter of this game. We kind of got to watch the end of it, the end of the first quarter for the Lakers Warriors. And before I get into like the quarter by quarter breakdown, let me just give some takeaways right off the bat. Luka and Austin Reeves are really going to have to carry the load offensively until LeBron is back, which isn't, that's not rocket science to say that, but it just showed me tonight how reliant the Lakers are going to be on these guys because they don't have any other high-level shot creators. Marcus Smart is Gabe Vincent is He's more of like a spot-up shooter at this point. And then Ayton and Rui Hachimura, like how reliable are they when it comes to like dumping the ball down to them and asking them to score and create for themselves? Probably not that reliable. But I think there is an aspect that the Lakers probably need to look to get these guys more involved in terms of being able to create, because if they're just feeding off of Luka and Austin Reeves, that's going to put a lot on those two guys without LeBron. And it honestly might limit those other guys as well. But, you Laker fans, you can comment down below if you think that, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, and Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart are even worth, running things through. Now, I think the biggest thing we need to talk about before we get into anything, like even though Luka had an amazing game and Austin Reeves, I thought, had a really solid shift as well. Luka finished with 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and a block on 17 for 27 shooting. So he came out and put on a performance for the fans. I thought he was really good. He even had some really solid moments staying in front of the ball one-on-one defensively. I think off ball, though, he was not good defensively, but who really was for the Lakers? Because the Warriors, the thing that's so tough about guarding them is that they move so much without the ball, especially when you have shooters like Steph and Buddy Hield. It causes so much human communication off ball. You can't just stare at the ball and lose sight of your man. You have to talk through all these off-ball screens. You have to know your coverages on all these off-ball screens, or you're going to end up lost. And that happened to a lot of Lakers tonight. And that's just typical of the Golden State Warriors offense in the Steve Kerr era. And it's crazy that Steve Kerr's really been coaching the Warriors for 12 years now. Like, time has flown by. But for me, the biggest thing we have to talk about right off the bat is DeAndre Ayton. All eyes are going to be on him this season. This is not Phoenix. No disrespect, although fuck the Buns, dude. This is not Phoenix. This is not Portland. This is the Lakers. You're going to have half of your schedule on national TV, buddy. You have nowhere to hide, especially when the center position was the most glaring weakness for this roster. And he had a nightmare debut, in my opinion. And it goes like, I can talk about, oh, he didn't do this well enough. He didn't defend well enough. He didn't score well enough. He didn't make shots. He just looks soft. Like bringing the ball down low constantly, not dunking when he's right at the rim when he can, not going up strong one-on-one. When he's trying to post up, it does not feel like he's got the defender sealed on his back. It always feels like they can come up and tip the ball. He's not rolling hard to the basket. Like sometimes he'll set screens and he will not roll hard to the basket. He'll like wait and like casually jog kind of behind the ball handler. It's like, dude, set that screen and roll hard. I thought it was a pretty bad debut for him. Statistically, it doesn't look that bad. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block on 5 for 7 shooting. But he was 0 for 2 from the line, and he had 4 turnovers. There is no reason why your center should have 4 turnovers. And both teams had those, opening game sloppy moments. 19 turnovers for the Dubs, 20 for the Lakers. The Dubs shot 49% from the field. The Lakers actually shot 54.5% and still lost. And part of that's the three-point shot. The Lakers shot 25% from 3, 8 for 32. The Warriors shot lights out from 3, 17 for 40, 42.5%. Then the free throws, both teams shot a lot. The Lakers shot 28. The Warriors shot 29. And I think this might be the biggest disparity in the game. Given the Lakers lost by 10 points, the Warriors actually made 9 more free throws than the Lakers. Lakers were 17 for 28 from the line, which is good for 61%, which is trash. And the Warriors were 26 for 29 from the line, which is good enough for 90%. So there's part of your game right there. You can talk about Ayton playing soft. You can talk about the Warriors just having a more full version of their squad with LeBron being out. But free throws, right there is 9-point difference in a 10-point loss. So that's something that the Lakers got to do a better job of. The largest lead the Lakers had all game was 2 points. The Warriors at one point led by as many as 17. So this was their game to win. But as far as Ayton, look, if you're a Laker fan, I wouldn't get too harsh on him because it's one game. But it's always been about DeAndre Ayton's mentality. It's always been about how he approaches the game. He looks soft. He looks like he doesn't want contact. He looks like he doesn't want to be assertive. And it's very frustrating because I actually was a big DeAndre Ayton advocate. Like in his early days, if you go back and watch those lives, which they're all in the playlist on my channel, when he was in Phoenix in 2021 and 2022, this guy was a beast. He showed signs that maybe he could be an all-star one day. But He just has declined. And the thing is, he bitched and cried and left Phoenix because they didn't pay him and he wasn't used the way he wanted to be used. And then he goes to Portland and doesn't do anything special. It's like, yeah, now they got Donovan Klingman and Jan Hansen. Like, they were okay with getting rid of Ayton. They bought his ass out. So what does that say? By the way, the Twitter portion of this live is coming to an end. So if you're on Twitter, please join us on YouTube. Okay. Now, as far as the way the game started, from what I saw in the first quarter, and it's fairly limited, Al Horford and Draymond Green were in drop coverage against Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. And I thought Austin Reeves got off to a pretty strong finish to the quarter. He had a layup. He had a nice lob pass to Jackson Hayes, got to the line for 2 free throws in the pick and roll, and he took a charge after he turned the ball over. So, one thing about Austin Reeves is that you never really fault him for his effort. He usually plays hard. At the end of the first quarter, Jimmy Butler had 12 points. Luka Doncic had 10 points. And it's funny because I don't think I saw any of the points for either of them because of the late switch over from the other game. But after the first quarter, the Lakers were down 28-22. Now, in the second quarter, things were going a little bit better for the Lakers. Somebody else who made their debut for the team tonight was Marcus Smart. And for better or worse, you got all of the Marcus Smart experience. It felt like every single time he was involved in an action on defense, it's either he's fouling or he's getting fouled. I mean, the guy is always mixing it up. He had 2 offensive fouls and then drew 2 offensive fouls. And one time, I think they were like right after the other. It was really funny. But I thought he actually had a pretty good debut. He's another guy that can handle the ball a little bit, that can run some pick and rolls. How many pick and rolls per game he gets, that's going to be honestly up to JJ. And I think you might need to use him a little bit more just because it's going to take some pressure off of Luka and Austin Reeves, and you don't want to just burn them out. By the way, no, I'm on a cleanse right now. So for those wondering, no, I am not under any influence right now. It's just late at night, man. What you think? It's just late at night. But anyway, Marcus Smart overall, 9 points, 1 steal, 3 turnovers on 3 for 6 shooting, 0 for 3 from deep. So 3 for 3 from inside the arc, missed all his threes, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He had some nice floaters. He had some nice finishes around the rim. I thought it was actually a pretty good debut for him. I just think that this Lakers team is going to struggle to guard. Like, they just don't have many good defenders in there. You have Jared Vanderbilt, but offensively, he doesn't do anything there. Gabe Vincent's pretty good, but like, how good? Marcus Smart is kind of past his like elite defensive player days, but he's one of the best that they have. And then what else do you have? No one else is that great defensively. So it's going to be a struggle. With those 3 guys being your guys, it's going to be a struggle to guard. And then offensively, it's just like you don't have many shot creators. I'm suspect on Ayton on like a championship level team as a starting center. I think Reeves and Luka and LeBron are obviously great. And look, we still have to, acknowledge that LeBron James is out. And LeBron James makes such a big difference, whether it be his shot creation, his leadership, even defensively being a big body that's able to switch onto multiple positions and be a guy that's, on the backside, calling out what's going on and, talking and being kind of like that linebacker in the back, kind of like how Draymond Green does it for the Warriors, but to a much lesser degree. But, I was watching the game with one friend tonight, and he was saying we're relying on a 41-year-old guy or 42-year-old guy to come save the day. And that's the reality, unfortunately, if you're a Laker fan. That's the way you've built your roster. Your second best player is a 41-year-old. However, he's just not your typical 41-year-old. He's not the same as everybody else. But yes, if you're, saying that that's a concern, that you're relying on that type of guy at that age, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way this roster is built. Until LeBron leaves, he's going to be a top 2 player on the team. I mean, I just think that that's something that you have to accept. So, and we'll talk about LeBron's body language that's being discussed a lot right now on my Twitter timeline in a second. But Marcus Smart, I thought, was doing some good things in the second quarter. Steph Curry also got going in the second quarter. I think he had 11 points in it. I mean, the guy is just like, I don't even know what to say. At this point, I tweeted about this. I'm just appreciating the greatness with Steph. Like, we know this isn't going to last forever at this point, and just appreciating his off-ball movement and what he brings to the table every single night. It's just spectacular. This is year 17 for the guy, and he still continues to play at an elite level and still continues to cause so much havoc for opposing defenses, even without the ball in his hands. I mean, it's amazing to see. So I think he had 11 points in the second. The box score data on NBA.com is not showing up yet, but 11 points in the second quarter, approximately, at least 11. And then I already talked about Ayton. He was just looking soft. And it was in the second quarter where I started to make that observation. But I thought the Lakers ended the half very well with behind Luka, cooking late, had two really nice passes to Rui Hachimura for open threes, and then had an amazing step back three over Jimmy Butler. But Marcus Smart had 4 fouls in the first half. Like, that was comical. Could not stay out of foul trouble, which is part of why he got limited to only 23 minutes. I think he could have played a little bit more, but he had 4 fouls. Austin Reeves also had 5 fouls in the game, but he still played 36 minutes. So the second quarter, the Lakers outscored the Warriors 32-27. So the Warriors were up by a score of 55 to 54 at the half. So a 1-point game. And then, kind of like we've been used to seeing for many, many years, third quarter Warriors showed up. They came out swinging, and someone who really caught my eye was Jonathan Kuminga. There's been a whole bunch of talk this offseason about, is he still going to be a Warrior? Is he going to be a part of this team long term? And the whole thing with Jonathan Kuminga is he's a ball stopper. He doesn't play within the flow of the Warriors offense. He isolates. He kind of takes matters into his own hands when Steph wants him to still look for him and stuff like that. But if he can knock down his open threes like he was doing tonight, that's going to completely change his role in the Dubs offense. Tonight, Jonathan Kuminga, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and he helps on defense with his athleticism and his size. He's so versatile. So I think it's more his offensive deficiencies that have kept him off the court than his defensive. But 17, 9, and 6 to go along with a steal. Did have 2 turnovers, but he shot 6 for 11 from the field and 4 for 6 from 3. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. 4 for 6 from 3. That's going to keep him on the court. He started tonight. Because Moses Moody is out, so he started in place of Moses Moody. They still had Draymond at the 5, like we saw in the playoffs. So it was Draymond, Jimmy, Kuminga, Steph, and Pods. But Kuminga really was turning up in that third quarter, and the Lakers just couldn't really guard without fouling. Whether it was Kuminga or Jimmy Butler or Stephen Curry. Jimmy Butler had 16 free throw attempts tonight. And that's one thing that he's great at, is just getting to the line and constantly being aggressive and not settling. 2 3-point attempts, 16 free throw attempts for Jimmy Buckets. You love to see that if he's on your team. But yeah, I mean, Ayton, there was at one point in the third quarter where I just felt like he couldn't do anything right. Couldn't make a shot. Had an offensive foul where he elbowed Draymond. And Kuminga had 13 points in the third. 13. So he was cooking. And the Lakers just off ball, their defense. And I don't know what you can, it's not a specific thing you can put it down to, at least that I can think of right now, but it's just classic falling asleep, watching the ball and losing sight of your man, or not rotating, simple stuff like that. The Warriors offense causes a lot of human error. You have a lot of moments where you have 2 guys drawn to the ball with Steph coming off a screen, and then you have to rotate on that backside, and the Lakers rotations just weren't sharp enough, and guys are just falling asleep off ball, getting back cut. I think there was one time where Gabe Vincent just got back cut by Steph like it was nothing. And again, I don't know if that's much on Gabe Vincent, and more so that Steph Curry just makes it look effortless, as the Inside the NBA guy said. Unfortunately, we don't have that, although it was really great to see some of my childhood icons like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, with the NBC coverage. And also amazing to hear Mike Tirico's voice again covering or broadcasting an NBA game. He was somebody who was big time for ESPN in my childhood. But of course, I miss my boys, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaq. I grew up with those guys. But Luka Doncic, man, I have to say, he did his part. He's never, I thought, as I said, his on-ball defense was good, off-ball not so great, but you're not going to expect a two-way masterclass from Luka. You got 35 and 11 through 3 quarters. He was carrying the load. Jake LaRavia even got going a little bit with 5 points late in the third quarter with an open three and then an offensive rebound layup. But Buddy Hield, man, talk about another guy, the others, as Shaq would say, that came in and made a huge impact for Golden State. 2 threes in the third and then 2 threes in the fourth. None more cold-blooded than the one where he got at the end of the shot clock on the right wing, ripped through to his right, and sent Jake LaRavia the other way and knocked it down. That was just a backbreaker for the Lakers, who just could not string together enough stops. And then the Dubs started blitzing Luka, which put guys like Vando and I think Rui Hachimura in short roll situations. And I don't think the Lakers did a very good job out of those. So that's something that they have to watch. You know, they don't have that many great ball handlers. Like guys like Ayton, when they get the ball in the short roll, we'll see how his decision making comes along because teams are going to blitz Luka. And if I were teams, I would just get the ball out of Luka's hands and make all these other guys beat you because I'm not confident in them really. The Lakers did make a push late, though. They went on a 9-0 run in 1 minute with the Rui Hachimura 3, Luka still cooking, Reeves getting downhill, and then someone who you did not expect to make the big three, Draymond Green in the right corner. The scouting report says to let him shoot. He knocked it down. And then Jimmy Butler, you know, he had a big scoring night, 29 points. Sorry, 31 points to be exact. He had a big bucket late. And then an offensive rebound was given up where DeAndre Ayton did not box out Jonathan Kuminga. And in classic Steph fashion, he hits like a 30-footer contested to put the game to bed. The Warriors win it 119-109 at the Staples Center. The Lakers get outscored in the third quarter, 35-25, and then outscore the Warriors 30-29 in the fourth. So the Warriors shot really well from the field and just overall 49, 42.5, 90 splits. Lakers 54.5, 25, 61 shooting splits. So, I mean, if I'm a Laker fan, I would be more disappointed in Ayton and the fact that, you know, you didn't even play preseason games together like that. You know, that's what the preseason is for, to get things going. You know, I watched the Warriors play my Clippers in preseason, and they had all their big guns out there. So they're a little more prepared for this game. And this is the first season, full season of Jimmy Butler. So you know that the Warriors are going to come out with a little bit of like, shit, like we're pretty good. Maybe I made a mistake. I probably should have put the Warriors 6th and the Lakers 7th. I don't know what I was thinking there. Just because I'm not biased towards the Lakers because I don't root for them and I actively dislike them right now with Redick as their coach and LeBron, but like, and Luka. But I just have like, I don't know. I'm around Laker fans. You know, I'm in Lakerville. So it's like I kind of get like slightly pushed in that direction. But my overall takeaways are that Ayton was garbage. The Lakers are going to need more offensively from their other guys. And that's going to come down to potentially like how much the coaching staff will allow those other guys to work. Because if it's just Luka and Austin Reeves creating just running pick and rolls every single time down the floor, I don't know, man. It's going to be very tough. And then defensively, I just don't think they have enough. Like, I just don't. I thought Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia were okay, though. And then the Warriors, I mean, they're the Warriors. You know, they're just old and they don't have size. But a full season of Jimmy Butler, that will be good. So let's read the lines. First for the Warriors. They went 11 deep. Guy Santos played 3 minutes, had a donut and a turnover. Gary Payton Jr. Actually, no, Quentin Post played 9 minutes, had a donut, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Gary Payton Jr. had 6 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, but turned the ball over 3 times. And he shot 50% from the field, 3 for 6, and missed his only 3. Given that he doesn't really handle the ball, 3 turnovers is a bit suspect. And then Will Richard, the rookie. I thought he had some really solid moments defensively, honestly. The second pick in the draft, second round pick, 56th overall this year. He had 5 points, 1 board, 1 assist, and 1 steal on 2 for 2 shooting and made his only 3. I thought that was a pretty damn good NBA debut for him. And then Al Horford making his Warriors debut. And I said it, you know, on Twitter before the season, but I think Al Horford's going to be great for this Warriors team. Like, he's just a perfect guy, another interior defender, a smart player, a pick and pop big. He had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers tonight on 2 for 7 shooting and 1 for 4 from 3. But I think even despite his poor shooting and having a negative plus minus, I think Al Horford was good. Like, I think he still brings things to the table. And granted, I was watching this game from a Lakers fan's perspective because we cover the Lakers here. This is an LA sports channel, not a Bay Area sports channel. But I just thought Al Horford from the opposition side was pretty good. Warriors fans, you can correct me on that if you think otherwise. Buddy Hield, though, what a performance off the bench. 17 points in 22 minutes on 6 for 11 shooting and 5 for 10 from 3. So if you combine Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga's made threes, that accounts for the majority of the Warriors' threes. So those two really came to play. As far as the Warriors' bench, they had 33 points off the bench. Lakers had 18. So, I mean, the Lakers bench is not very good without LeBron. It may not even be that good with LeBron. Then the starters for the Warriors, who all played 28 or more minutes. Draymond Green had 5 fouls, so he only played 28 minutes. He had 8 points, 7 boards, 9 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers on 3 for 6 shooting, 1 for 3 from deep, but man, was that a timely 3, and 1 for 3 from the foul line. That's a classic triple single for Draymond. Tied Jimmy Butler with the highest plus minus of anyone in the game with plus 20. I thought he was very solid at what he did. And then Jonathan Kuminga, 17, 9, and 6. Already mentioned him with a steal, 2 turnovers on 6 for 11 shooting and 4 for 6 from deep, 1 for 2 from the foul line. Brandon Pajimski played 33 minutes, had 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover on 3 for 7 shooting and 1 for 4 from deep. And then the main man himself, Stephen Curry. Actually, no, let's go Jimmy Butler first. 31 points to lead the Warriors, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover on 50, 50, 100 splits. 7 for 14 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and made all 16 of his free throws. That's a hell of a season opener for Jimmy Buckets. And then Steph Curry. While it wasn't his loudest night, he still makes such an impact. It all starts with him. You can never tell his impact from the box score alone. 23 points, 1 board, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. How about that big block on Gabe Vincent in the corner from Steph? 2 turnovers on 6 for 14 shooting, 3 for 9 from 3. So not the best shooting night for Steph, but he was 8 for 8 from the line. So if you combine their 2 stars, 24 for 24 from the free throw line. As far as the Lakers, they went 9 deep. 12 minutes for Vando, and that's exactly why he only gets 12 minutes. A donut, 3 boards, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 0 for 4 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. Jackson Hayes, 4 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover on 2 for 3 shooting in 14 minutes. Jake LaRavia, 5 points, 3 rebounds on 2 for 4 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3, and was 0 for 2 from the foul line. Then Marcus Smart, 9 points, 1 steal, 3 turnovers on 3 for 6 shooting and 0 for 3 from deep. So as I said, just 18 points off the Laker bench. And then the starters, who all played 29 minutes or more. Gabe Vincent, 1 for 4 from 3, and those were all his shots. He had 3 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, and no turnovers. You need more. You just need more. That's just not enough in any aspect. But again, maybe you can put the ball in Vincent's hands more, make him do a little bit more creating. I don't know. And then you have DeAndre Ayton, who I already mentioned, 10.6 boards, 4 turnovers on 5 for 7 shooting. It's just not good enough at all. At all. And it's funny because those stats, he shot well. It makes it seem like he played well. No, he didn't. Rui Hachimura. See, honestly, Rui Hachimura is a little bit more than just a spot-up shooter. He shot only 3s tonight. And I know JJ's been discouraging the long 2s or the shots for Rui that aren't 3s, I think. But you might be able to get a little bit more out of him by throwing it down to him and feeding him against mismatches, seeing what kind of switches you can get with smaller guys, because both teams are switching 1 through 4. So I think that's something you can look at, because you just can't have Luka and Reeves doing everything and just limiting Rui to a spot-up shooter. Granted, he shot 50%, and that's fine, but you kind of want him to be a little bit more involved, at least in my opinion. And then Reeves, that was a really solid debut. It's just too many turnovers, or season debut. It's just too many turnovers for him. 26 points, 5 boards, 9 dimes, 2 steals, 5 turnovers on 9 for 16 shooting. The three ball wasn't falling for him. 1 for 5 from 3. And both he and Luka shot 7 for 10 from the free throw line, which isn't good enough. Compare that duo shooting from the line, 14 for 20, to 24 out of 24 for Jimmy and Steph. Makes a difference. But, and then 3 for 15 from 3 between the two of them. Luka had 43, 12, and 9. Of course, this is the first full season for Luka as a Laker. 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and a block. 3 turnovers on 17 for 27 shooting, but he was just 2 for 10 from deep and 7 for 10 from the foul line. So that's it for game 1. I mean, it's not a big deal. The Lakers, it's going to be a struggle, though, without LeBron. The next game they're playing is against the Timberwolves on Friday. Of course, I won't be able to watch that live because I'll be at the Clipper game. So maybe you'll get a live of me discussing that game on Saturday, potentially. Saturday afternoon, I would like to target. But I want to say something about LeBron before we transition to the OKC game. A lot of talk about how disinterested he looked on the bench, how expressionless he was. Usually when LeBron's on the bench, he is very boisterous and he's in the huddles, he's talking a lot, but he just seemed very stoic tonight. And I don't know if he's disappointed at the fact that he didn't get the extension that he wanted. I don't know if he's disappointed at the fact that it's Luka's team now and he's never been the man. Like, even when Anthony Davis these last couple of years has been arguably the best player, I think he's been the best player since the 2022-23 season. So I think the last 2.5 seasons, Anthony Davis was the best player. LeBron is still the face of the franchise. LeBron is still that face. This is the first time where he's not the face. Now, I don't know if he's struggling with that or not. Maybe we're all just looking way too into it. But he just picked up his $52.6 million option this past summer. There was no extension or anything like that. He has a no trade clause, so we have to waive that. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But let's talk a little bit about the other game. Now, I'm going to do, I think, a playback tomorrow morning, maybe. Well, if you want to join me on that, sign up for go to the Dime Machine on playback. I don't know if Bones got busy, can link it in here. But I want to watch the game again. I want to watch the ring ceremony. I want to watch, the first couple of quarters of KD as a Rocket. But all I'll say is this. Alperen Şengün showed off some real shooting chops, knocking down threes. I mean, I was impressed. Some of those were contested threes, too. And then SGA just did what SGA does. That big game-tying shot, step back late, the way Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren kind of led that charge late in the game. Cason Wallace giving him some good minutes as well. And Lou Dort, I hate the guy, but I hate's a strong word. He annoys me because of his antics, but the way he was getting physical with KD, pushing him further away from the basket and just making the pass to him tough, kind of denying the ball. That's where KD, I've criticized him for a couple of years now, is when you put a physical defender on him, he doesn't really push back. It's always the defender initiating the contact and rarely Kevin Durant initiating that contact. But I thought that was classic Lou Dort. But yeah, the Rockets were up by 6 at halftime. The Thunder kind of inched closer as the game went on. And SGA made that big shot. But what happened right before SGA made that big shot, Dime Dropper fam? A certain greatest scorer of all time missed the free throw that would have put him up 3. And he's such a great free throw shooter. Couldn't believe it. But I can, because last year he actually had some woes at the free throw line that he even acknowledged. But yeah, so big missed free throw. And then he got away with a Chris Webber at the end of the first overtime. He called a timeout, and my man Zach Zarba did not see it. They didn't call it. I think maybe they didn't want to end the game that way, but how poetic would it have been if KD pulled a Chris Webber and lost opening night against the Thunder on ring night like that? Like, I just think that would have been an incredible story, but it didn't happen. They go to double OT, and SGA ends the game by getting KD off his feet. It was funny because KD was defending him really well, and then he fell for the pump fake at the end. That's because SGA made that step back in regulation. He showed everybody, or he shows everybody that you got to contest his shot, but you got to stay on your feet. especially if you're 7 feet tall like KD. And KD knows that. Got fouled out of the game. SGA, unlike Kevin Durant, makes both free throws, and the Thunder win it 125-124. Jabari Smith got a decent look. It was a tough shot at a turnaround jumper at the end of regulation and didn't make it. So the Thunder 1-0, even without Jalen Williams, got that win. Of course, the Rockets are missing Fred VanVleet. I thought in the minutes that I watched, I saw some really good stuff from Amen Thompson, but he still can't shoot the ball. He was 0 for 7 from 3 in this game. Alperen Sengun had 39, 11, 7, 2 steals, and a block. That's 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 dimes, 2 steals, and a block on 12 for 24 shooting, 5 for 8 from 3, and 10 for 11 from the line. I mean, that dude is just nasty. He's just nasty. Somebody who played, remember, Dorian Finney-Smith and Jayshawn Tate are both out with recovering from ankle surgery, but Reed Shepherd got minutes tonight, and I wasn't very impressed. I mean, we saw him in Summer League up close and personal, but he was 3 for 11 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, really struggled to run the point and get the ball to KD and like his spots. He had 2 turnovers. One of them was a bad pass to KD late where Lou Dort deflected it. It was just not a good entry pass. But yeah, the Rockets shooting is going to be an issue, especially when KD goes 0 for 4 from 3. I mean, they shot 11 for 39 from deep in this game. The Thunder didn't shoot well either, though. They were 13 for 52 from 3. My goodness. SGA was 1 for 9 from 3, and Lou Dort was 0 for 8 from 3. Wow. So it's a game I'll watch tomorrow, but it was just poetic to see KD blow the game like that at the free throw line and foul to lose the game. I think it was just great. But right now, that's the end of the audio portion of this live. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 a dime, and the membership tab is open to sign up. Peace, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow night, very late, about Clippers and Jazz, baby. All right. Hey, let's do something a little different this season. Let's roll the highlights, man. Danny Sanchez asked, how did you like how these games were officiated? Looked like they're giving offensive players a little more leeway, low-key. Much love. I thought there was a lot of fouls in the Laker game, to be honest with you. By the way, if you want to see what I was saying about the playoffs last year, become a member of the channel, or you can listen on audio for free. I've been releasing them because I just failed to you guys. I failed in my obligation to deliver playoff post games. My duty is to deliver playoff post games every single season. And I didn't do that because of, truthfully, mental health problems and, transitioning and the way that my life changed this year. So, but let's watch some, let's go to YouTube and let's see what we got on this Laker game, right? Maybe we can analyze some plays together. Okay. Have they released? There we go. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's pull it up. Let me know if it's lagging or anything like that. I want you guys to be able to see this. Okay. Can everybody see all right? I'm not going to put the sound on because I think it affects the audio. See, it's interesting because we didn't even get to see this part of the game. All right, let's take a look at it. Is it lagging? Let me know if it's lagging. Tough shot. A little bit choppy. See, look how easily Austin Reeves got beat off the dribble there. That caused a defensive breakdown. Jimmy Butler hitting a 3 early. Luka getting blitzed. Reeves, Ayton pick and roll. But you see how he kind of hesitated there, Ayton, instead of just rolling hard to the basket? He's got to roll harder. Luka on the see if Luka can make those open threes on the catch and shoots. They're blitz. They were blitzing him early. There you go, Ayton. That's more like it. By the way, here's the link for the playback in the chat. The Dime Machine. We're going to watch the game tomorrow, Rockets and Thunder. You'll be seeing my first reactions to it. There we go. Attacking Luka on the pick and roll. Steph didn't actually go at him there. And look at the way he moves without the ball. It's unbelievable. Draymond and Steph's chemistry is just unreal. Nice hit ahead pass from Luka there. Ooh, Gary Payton Jr. We play California Love and we win, BC. Steph getting blitzed. Kuminga 3, his first of 4. Wow. Look at Marcus Smart. I mean, he's constantly hitting the floor. That was a push off. No, he's flopping too much. Buddy Hield's first of many threes. Wow, see, they were trying to hedge that screen, huh? Oof. Good Austin Reeves saucing it up. That was the layup I mentioned earlier. Hey, look at that. That's more like classic Vando right there, getting the steal. And this is the lob to Hayes. Yep. Good play. I mean, that's just bad defense, huh? Hesitation like that. Like Reeves has to hold that until Jackson Hayes can get back in front. He leaves too early there. And Draymond just gets a run to the rim. That's a tough shot. Jimmy Butler, man. He's had a great career. Luka complaining for a foul. Man. You can just watch him shoot all day, huh? Look at his movement. Just watch this guy. Look at his movement. Look at that. The back screen. Then he fakes that he's gonna come off top. I mean, it's an art form. It's an art form to watch him move without the basketball. Look, he passes and he's not gonna stop. He comes right off that dribble handoff. I mean, it's just he's a wizard, dude. He really is. It's a tough shot by Luka. Luka brought it tonight. You know, I can't hate. Luka really brought it tonight. There's the Rui 3 late. Honestly, thought Luka overhelped there. And this was the 3 against Jimmy Butler. This was cold. Watch this. Step back jack. Hand in the face. No problem. And here's third quarter Warriors. You're Luka curling off the ball. You love to see that. And then finishing through contact. This is where the Lakers were struggling to guard without fouling. Boom. Jimmy Butler's big body and Gabe Vincent there. This is where Ayton was just all over the place. Just could not find anything to go for him. And there's that back cut I was talking about against Gabe Vincent. Just completely beat him there. Yeah, Pods is too, man. Look at that and 1. He's so good at finishing through contact, Luka. Look, nonchalant, no reaction. Look at Steph, man. Luka fell asleep there off ball. Little hedge by Al Horford. There you go. That was nice. Nice little turnaround over the right shoulder by Ayton. This is the first of Buddy Hield. Dude, that was a contested. I mean, that was a tough shot. By the way, I liked NBC's presentation tonight. The quality of the game, like the actual quality of the footage of the cameras looked really good. Jonathan Kuminga taking that bump. And then Vando getting beat there off the bounce by Pods. Buddy Hield hitting another 3. So Lakers just struggling to, in these highlights, you can see that they're struggling to guard dribble penetration. This was a good attacking of the closeout. Beautiful lob by Luka to Jackson Hayes. And then Marcus Smart turning the corner, getting in there for that floater off 2 feet. Love that. Buddy Hield. Another 3. Draymond pushing in transition, going right into the chest. I think that was a soft foul call, but nice finish anyway. And then Buddy Hield again. This was that rip through to the right. LaRavia gets shifted. And this is when the Lakers started making their run, no? Or it was after this bucket? Yeah, this Gabe Vincent, Jimmy Butler matchup, I mean, that was food for him. They played with each other in Miami. 100 to 84. And here was the run. Starts with Luka getting downhill. Nice little bank shot. Then off of a miss, Austin Reeves, really nice outlet out to Luka. Goes up strong right over the top of Buddy Hield. Forces a Steve Kerr timeout. I mean, that's just so hard to guard, right? Like, just take a look at it. Look at how much Steph is moving. Like, it's just unbelievable. So you probably should switch that. Like, Luka should switch on to Steph at that point, because now Vincent's a step behind. Ayton actually does a really good job of stepping up, and Reeves takes away the next pass, and Steph just makes a great read. And Reeves does cover a lot of ground there, and then Will Richard makes a three. I mean, maybe you should have switched that earlier. But that was a great pass by Luka, man. His court vision is just impeccable. I think all of Rui's threes came off Luka passes. And look at Luka getting against Kuminga. Look at that. Oh, my God. He's so patient. So patient. 10-point game. Reeves interception off the Al Horford turnover. The trailer. He should have dunked that. Like, just go up and dunk that shit. 8-point game. And this was Reeves' reverse layup, I think. High screen by Ayton. Rejects it. I mean, that's beautiful. 6-point game with 4 minutes to go. And then here comes the Draymond three. It's like you just kind of have to live with this. Although Rui could have closed out a little bit harder. When you look at that in that replay, he could have closed out a little bit harder. And then Jimmy just got right around Luka there easily. He's saying Luka was trying to say he hooked him. 10-point game. Big time shot by AR. Making it a 7-point game. Beautiful move by Luka. Making it a 7-point game. And then here's, I think, the dagger by Steph, right? Yeah, look at this. From the Crypto.com arena sign. Oh, my God. And that's that. So that's going to do it for tonight's live. Let me know what you thought. We'll see you tomorrow night. Clippers, Jazz. I won't be able to be live directly after the game because I have a game to play in myself. But after, we'll be live around, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock maybe. So peace out, everybody. Comment what you thought of the video. Comment your thoughts on the game. Peace. And I'll see you for playback tomorrow morning.